Hello everyone, welcome you all to this new video. So in this video onwards, we are going to be starting from module 3 of the subject electronic principles and circuits. Till now we have covered two modules. In that we have seen with the basics of biasing circuits in the module 1 with some of the important kind of amplifier circuits, and in module 2 we have seen with some of the additional amplifier circuits based on the MOSFETs, right? So, with respect to MOSFETs, we have seen the N channel and P channel MOSFETs and its characteristics according to the conditions through the amplifier. And we have seen three important kinds of amplifier circuits, that is common gate, common collector, and common emitter amplifier circuits. Okay, so these are the things which we have discussed in the previous two modules. Now, in this modules, this is the syllabus for you guys, which is provided by the VTU side for the module 3. So, here in the first part, we are going to be discussing with the linear op amp circuits. Okay, op amp stands for operational amplifier. Okay, so this is the short word which is used for operational amplifier circuits, that is op amp. Okay, so linear op amp circuits. So we are not going to be studying the basics of op amp here, what do you mean by operational amplifier and all, but the some important additional linear op amp circuits. Okay, based on the amplifier we are going to be seeing those linear op amp circuits along with its characteristics. So in that we are going to be seeing with the summing amplifier and D to A converter. Okay, it is also called as a R to R, digital to analog converter, based on the amplifier how it is getting converted. Then after that we are going to be seeing the non-linear op amp circuits, where in the category of non-linear op amp circuits we are having the op amp circuits related to comparators with zero reference, non-zero reference, and with the hysteresis curve, how the comparators are done. Based on that we are having the additional components which is present in that comparator in terms of Schmidt trigger circuits and zero reference circuits. Okay, so based on that we are going to be seeing the different comparator circuits, and these many things we are going to be discussing in the part of linear op amp circuits and non-linear op amp circuits. Okay, then in the next part we are having the oscillators. In this oscillators, again first we need to be discussing the theory of oscillation, that is basically the sinusoidal oscillation. Okay, so this is the sinusoidal oscillation, right? So what do you mean by the sinusoidal signal, and how it operates in different signals which is provided for different sets of oscillations. Okay, so that we are going to be studying in depth. Then after that we'll discuss the some important kinds of oscillators. That is, one is Wien-Bridge oscillator, RC phase shift oscillator, Colpitt's oscillator, Hartley oscillator, and crystal oscillator. Okay, so these are the different kinds of oscillator circuits. One by one we are going to be discussing. Okay, after that we are going to be seeing with the triple five timer. It's mm, IC pin diagram of a triple five timer. Along with that we'll see the monostable and astable operations of a triple five timer. Okay, so these are the important topics which are given for you in this module. Please go through it. Now, without wasting much time, let us start with the basic of linear op amp circuits. Okay, firstly you need to be seeing the summing amplifier circuit, how it is written, and with respect to that what is the relationship obtained based on the summing amplifier. Okay, so the summing amplifier circuit here, this is the figure of a simple subtractor here which uses two amplifiers here. So these are the two amplifiers used here. Okay, and this is the non-inverting and inverting terminals which is present, and the with respect to the non-inverting terminals the input is provided, and we are having one feedback given to these two amplifiers, with the inverting terminal given to ground here. Okay, in between the two output of the first amplifier is given to the second non-inverting input, and with respect to that we are having one common source resistor which is acting as a link between these two amplifiers in order to be providing the variable value through the amplifier. Okay, so with respect to this we are having the output relation, that is V out is given by V1 minus V2. Okay, so this is the basic relation through which the summing amplifier is defined. Okay, so this we have seen it in the previous lower classes also, this relation. So this is just the relation which I wanted to brush it. Okay, now let us see. So this above figure shows a circuit that subtract two input voltages. Okay, so these are the subtraction of two input voltages V1 and V2 to produce an output voltage which is equal to the difference of V1 and V2. Here how it works. The input V1 drives an inverter with the voltage gain of unity. The output of the first stage amplifier is minus V1. This voltage is one of the inputs to the second stage summing circuit. Okay, and the other is V2. Since the gain of each channel is unity, the final output voltage is V1 minus V2. So here in this para, they are simply giving the working part, that is, it would be driving an inverter with the voltage gain of unity initially. Okay, initially it would be driving an inverter. Why? Because we are requiring the positive and negative side oscillations, right? So in order to that, we are using inverter to just track a pulses. So the output of first stage amplifier is minus V1. So this voltage is one of the inputs to the second stage. So the whatever the minus V1 at the first stage is generated, right? That minus V1 output would be the that output would be same as the input for the next stage. Okay. So similarly, we would be getting the input for the next stage as V2, and that would be the output. Okay. So like that, if you obtain the relation, we would be getting V1 minus V2. Okay. So summing on both inputs, see how it is defined. Sometimes you may see a circuit which is mentioned in the below figure. It is nothing more than a summing circuit. So if you are having on both inputs, the gain of the inverting channel is the ratio of the feedback resistor RF to the input channel resistance either R1 or R2. The gain of non-inverting channel is given by this relation, that is RF divided by R1 parallel R2 is equal to 1. So this could be reduced by the voltage divider factor of the channel by either mentioning the input resistances. Here they are mentioned either for R4 or R3, where the gain is defined on summing of both inputs. That is, for you see here, for if we apply the voltage divider factor, then R3, R4, R5 would be coming into the picture. That is, we would be getting R4 parallel to R5 divided by R3 plus R4 parallel to R5. Okay, so this is with respect to R4. Now with respect to R3, we are having this relation R3 parallel to R5 divided by R4 plus R3 parallel to R5. So this is for the different stages of inputs. We would be getting different values of voltage gains. Okay, so these values of voltage gains are very important, which you need to be noting it down, because with respect to these problems also would be asked in order to find the voltage gain at each stage. Then after getting the each stage voltage gain based on whatever the resistor values is obtained, we could be finding the overall voltage gain by one relation. Okay, so that we are going to be seeing in the next video what you mean by that. Okay, yeah. So this is the basic relation for each voltage gains which I had told you, that is summing amplifier using both sides of op amp. So this is the basic summing amplifier which is required for this syllabus. Okay. So we see here summing amplifier using both sides of op amp. So this is one op amp they have used, and they have used here five resistances as mentioned here, that is R1, R2, R3, R4 as well as R5. And we are having one feedback resistor RF here, which is given through the non-inverting terminal. So from the non-inverting terminal, we are having R1, R2, which is parallel to each other. Then we are having from inverting terminal R3, R4, which is parallel to each other, and this complete branch would be in series with this resistor R5. We're having one V out. And in order to find the overall voltage V out, this is the relation which you need to be following, that is AV1 V1, AV1 into V1 plus AV2 into V2 plus AV3 into V3 plus AV4 into V4, where AV1, AV2, AV3 and AV4 are the voltage gains of different stages of inputs. Okay, so for AV1 it is defined by simply minus RF by R1 based on the non-inverting amplifier condition. So I guess you till now you all might be knowing the relation, the expression for non-inverting amplifier, right? So based on that, here it is written, that is AV1 is equal to minus RF divided by R1. AV2 also, because it is connected through the non-inverting terminal itself, so it would be again minus RF divided by R2. But AV3 now would be changing because it is given to the inverting terminal. So based on whatever the inverting amplifier output is provided, we would be writing the overall voltage gain as the same thing, that is AV3 is equal to RF divided by R1 parallel to R2 plus 1 into this relation, that is R4 parallel to R5 divided by R3 plus R4 parallel to R5. So this is with respect to V3. Now with respect to V4, it is this condition, this term repeats itself, that is RF divided by R1 parallel R2 plus 1 into, here now you need to be doing these two parallel, that is R3 parallel to R5 divided by R4 plus R3 parallel to R5. So like this, the voltage gains at each stages are defined, and in this way the summing amplifier is used using both the sides of op amp simultaneously. Okay, so with respect to that, we are having one simple problem here which is very essential for you guys to know, that is, so you see here, with respect to the figure given, that is 20.22, we are having five resistors, right? And those five resistors values they have given it, that is R1 is 1 kilo ohm, R2 is 2 kilo ohm, R3 is 3 kilo ohm, R4 is 4 kilo ohm, and R5 is 5 kilo ohm, and RF, that is the feedback resistance, is 6 kilo ohm. They have told us to find the voltage gain of each channel For each channel, we need to be finding AV1, AV2, AV3, AV4. So this is the formula given to you guys that they have substituted it here, and they had found the values for AV1, AV2, AV3, and AV4 at each stages of input. So we have got the answer as AV1 as -6, because this kilo ohm terms gets cancelled and we will be left with -6 here. AV2 is -3, and here this equation, if you solve it, you would be getting 4.26. If this equation, if you solve, you would be getting 3.19. Okay, so this is one simple problem. There are high chances that they might be asking this. So these formulas with respect to the circuit diagram, you need to be remembering it. Okay, so please note it down. This is a practice problem. So this is one kind of circuit, summing amplifier. One more is the averager circuit. So what do you mean by averager circuit? So you see here they have given. So this below figure is an averager circuit. This is a circuit whose output equals to the average of the input voltages. Okay, so output is the average of all the input voltages. Each channel has a voltage gain of AV is equal to R divided by 3R. Okay, so this is the voltage gain which is present in each channel. Okay, the resistance divided by the total resistance based on number of inputs, that is 3R. So we would be getting the voltage gain for each channel is initially 1 by 3. So now when all the amplified outputs are added, we get an output that is the average of all the input voltages. Okay, so below is the circuit diagram which has three inputs here, V1, V2, V3, and with respect to the three inputs, we are having three resistors which is connected in parallel. So each of them are given as 3R, 3R, and 3R, and one feedback resistance is given through the non-inverting terminals, and inverting terminals is given to ground. Okay, so this is the basic averaging circuit. For that, V out is described as the average of three inputs, that is V out is equal to minus of V1 plus V2 plus V3 divided by 3. This minus sign is because it is given through the non-inverting terminal, right? So that's why we would be getting V out is equal to minus of V1 plus V2 plus V3 whole divided by 3. So this is the basic concept related to averager. Please note it down. Now we are having the D to A converter. This is very important. Digital to analog converter. Okay, so in D to A converter, in digital electronics, digital to analog converter takes a binary represented value and converts it into voltage or current. Okay, it would be converting it to either voltage or current. So this voltage or current will be proportional to the input binary value. There are two methods of D to A conversion which is oftenly used. Okay, so basically there are two methods. That is, one first method is called as binary weighted D to A converter, and here it is R slash 2R ladder D to A converter. Okay, so what do you mean by these two converters, the relation, how it is obtained? So we see here, first is binary weighted D to A converter. How this is done? This is done by basically splitting all the inputs in terms of bits here. So here initially it changes the digital input to analog value, because it's the name itself suggests it is digital to analog converter, right? So initially we would be giving you the digital inputs, so that digital inputs would be converted into analog at the output side, and it is expression is getting. So you see here, this is the circuit diagram along with the example they have given. So here we are having four inputs, v3, v2, v1, v0, and resistors are defined as R, 2R. It doubles at each stage. So you see here it is R, right? So double of R is 2R, then double of 2R is 4R, and double of 4R is 8R. Okay, like that. For four inputs, they have defined it, and we are having one resistor, and this is the complete amplifier circuit. So the total output voltage through which it could be converting from digital to analog, that is given by minus of V3 plus 0.5 V2 plus 0.25 V1 plus 0.125 V0. Here it is getting divided by 2 at each stage. That is, half of 1 is zero point 0.5, half of zero point 0.5 is 0.25, half of 0.25 is 0.125. Okay, like this you need to be expressing in terms of voltage for the digital to analog converter. Okay, so the binary weighted D to A converter is shown. This circuit produces an output voltage which is equal to the weighted sum of all the inputs. The weight is the same as the gain of the channel. For instance, in the below figure, you could be seeing the, that is, this is the figure here. In this below figure, you could be seeing a channel gains, that is AB3 is -1, AB2 is minus zero point 0.5. So these are the channel gains here. That is, these values are there, right? These are the channel gains, that is -1, minus zero point 0.5. Why minus? Because minus is getting multiplied to all the terms. Okay, so that's why -1, minus zero point 0.5, minus 0.25, and minus 0.125. Okay, the input values are digital or two state, which means that they have a value of either 1 or 0. Okay, but digital values, it consists of only two bits. Okay, binary values, that is either 1 or 0. This you guys would be knowing, right? So with four inputs, there are 16 possible input combinations. This also you guys might be knowing for V3, V2, V1, V0. Okay, those 16 combinations are given from 0000 up to 1111. When all the inputs are 0, the output V out is equal to 0. Why? Because, so you see here, if you substitute the values of V3, V2, V1, V0 in this equation, okay, with respect to 4 bits, because 4 bits carry 16 combinations. So for the first combination, it is 0000. So in this equation, V3, V2, V1, V0, all the values are 0. So automatically you would be getting V out is equal to 0. Okay. Similarly, for the next combination, that is 0001, here at the final stage V1, the value is 1. So that's why we would be getting the answer as minus 0.125. Here at the next state, that is the value of V1 is 1, rest all are 0. So we would be getting minus 0.25. And overall, like that, you could be calculating for each combination the output value. Okay. So through this way, we could be converting the binary answer into the analog answer from in the form of binary weighted D to A converter. Okay. This is very easy, guys. Hope you understood it. Next, let us see the one more important converter, which is very important. That is R to R ladder D to A converter. Okay, this is a circuit is complicated, yet the formula for conversion is very easy. Okay, so here this is the circuit provided for you guys. All the connections are given through a non-inverting terminal. So how it is given? So initially they have taken the five resistances, that is R5, R1, R2, R3, R4. Okay, so these are some standard values mentioned to it, and these are the switches here. These four switches, right, would be operating as decimal values with respect to their open and close condition. Okay, based on that, we would be getting all the combinations of decimal values, and this circuit would be analyzing that and would be converting the digital values in form of analog values and would be operating on the feedback value provided. Okay, so you see here with respect to that, the formula is given, that is to determine the D to A converter's output voltage, you must first change the binary input value to its decimal equivalent value. That is, this can be done by doing this value, that is bin is equal to d naught into 2 to the power 0 plus d1 into 2 to the power 1. So this the basic conversion, guys, that is binary to decimal conversion in digital electronics you might be studying, right? That only formula we are using here, that is d naught into 2 power 0 plus d1 into 2 power 1 plus d2 into 2 square plus d3 into 2 cube. Okay, so this you could be doing it and finding the bin, that is conversion of binary input to decimal input. After that, you could be finding the output voltage by putting the bin in this formula, that is V out is equal to minus of binary whatever value we have got here divided by 2 to the power n into 2 times V reference. Okay, so this is the formula through which this conversion could be done for different values of parallel resistances. And R to R means that in each branch we are connecting one series and parallel branch resistances simultaneously through inverting terminals. Okay, so that's why the word suggests as R to R ladder converter. Okay, because each resistances are interconnected to each other in the form of ladder in both series as well as parallel connections. Yeah, so with respect to that, one example they have given here, they have given some of the values directly. What they would be giving you, they would be giving you one binary value that you need to be mentioning in the form of 3 bits or 4 bits like this. Initially, this question is they have given it as 1001. Okay, so they have here in this they have considered the value of d naught, d1, d2, d3 as 1001, and using the V reference, they would be giving you the reference voltage, that is plus 5 volt. Based on that, you could be calculating the value of V out and bin and getting the answer. Okay, so this is all about linear op-amp circuits, where we have discussed two important kinds of circuits under D to A converter and averager as well as summing amplifier. Okay, so this video was a bit lengthy, but these many concepts are required for you guys to know. Okay, so that's all for this video, guys. In the next video, you are going to be seeing with some of the non-linear op-amp circuits. Okay, yeah, so that's all, guys. Thank you.